Ben. Big Ben.
Ben Roethlisberger. Number 7. First ballot Hall of Famer. Big Ben Roethlisberger. I'm talking to you.
I miss you. We miss you.
I think all of Steelers Nation, or the majority of Steelers Nation, misses you.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Like, I think, I know we've taken you for granted. We really have. Like, your absence, not just this game, which we'll get into, but this whole season has been completely noticeable. Obviously. Like, I know you said you're not going to retire, but don't retire. Just please. Like, if I can find the fountain of youth, I will literally do whatever I can to take you there so that you can play forever. Heck, go the Drew Brees or Tom Brady route, all right? Play till you're 45. At this point, I don't care. Just play as long as you can, please. As soon as your contract expires, ask for an extension, please.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Nah, I go that far.
I wouldn't go that far. Because this defense needs to be held together for as long as possible, because it's the only thing that's going to pretty much allow us or help us get to the playoffs. We lose today to the Buffalo Bills, Sunday Night Football, 17-10, and what the thumbnail says, a nail-biter, a great defensive performance, man, or a great defensive game from both teams, man. Bills clinch a playoff berth. Congratulations to them, man. We are still 6th seed in the AFC, which is good. We still have the 6th seed. We are still in the playoff picture.
Yeah, because if anything, at least we needed Tennessee to lose, and that's what happened.
Right.
So.
Thank you, Texans. But this just confirms that the only way we can get into the playoffs is with the 6th seed. We have to obtain our position for the next 2 weeks. We have the Jets in New York.
Which is more likely a trap game.
Yeah, you guys thought Arizona was a trap game. My God, the Jets is a fucking trap game. And we got the Ravens, who could sit their starters, but I mean, if we know the Ravens like we think we do, they're going to play their fucking starters all day in hopes to end our hopes of making it to the playoffs.
For the second straight year.
Of course. So, man, we just have to obtain this position at the number 6 seed, and the only way we can do that is with our defense, because this offense is so fucking stressful, horrific, disgusting, depressing. Any negative word you can think of,
right?
That's the Steelers' offense.
Yes, it was against the Bills' defense, and we said in our preview that the defense was great. It's not elite, but
it's arguably elite,
right? But like, this offense literally couldn't get a darn thing going whatsoever.
No, not at all. And again, yes, they didn't have most of their guys back. Duck Hodges is a 3rd string, originally a 4th string undrafted rookie. Juju is still out. Connor's coming back from injury. He had a decent game. But, I mean, goddamn. Just do something. Again, we know it's the Bills' defense.
And big credit to them. They played their fucking ass off.
Absolutely. But, my God, do something. First of all, who in the right mind thinks it's a good idea to have a 3rd string, again, an originally 4th string undrafted rookie quarterback to throw the ball, how many? I think 38 times in prime time against a top 5 defense this season. Whose idea was that? And we ran it, a total of 15 times with our lead running back coming back from injury?
And considering that the Bills' rush defense is very vulnerable all season.
Yes.
So why? And the Steelers have been doing it pretty much dating back to last year. They never took advantage to the vulnerable part of the opposing defenses. But it's like, come on. Like, you have to run the ball.
Exactly. Like
this brings me back to last year against the Chargers, where we pretty much never ran the damn ball. And I got frustrated. I got pissed off. I went on a full-fledged rant, pretty much. I'm not going to do that tonight, but it's like, you need to run the ball. You have to. You can't have a undrafted rookie quarterback throw it 38 times.
pretty much 40 times a game.
That's ridiculous.
Well, in this specific game.
That should be unheard of.
The biggest game of the fucking season in prime time against the top 5 defense, and that's your game plan? You're comfortable with that? Really?
Like, that's just idiotic. That's dumb.
That's...
And look what happened. Devlin Hodges, he played awful.
4 fucking interceptions. Devlin Hodges played absolutely horrific. His worst game yet, obviously. All of his picks were it was just terrible. His first pick was overthrown. His second pick, it pisses me off, man. And it's like any quarterback knows or should know not to test an elite corner when the guy that you're targeting is on a fucking out route against an elite corner. In fact, any corner of that sort. You have to be beyond fucking terrible to not understand or take advantage of a play like that, because it's one of the most easiest fucking plays that a corner can take advantage of and make a play out of. It's so fucking simple.
Right.
And then who the fuck drew that up to have Deontay Johnson run an out route against Tre'Davious White, and fucking Duck Hodges targeted him and it was picked off? Fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. I know he's young. He's going to make mistakes. And it's arguably an elite defense. Of course he's going to make mistakes. We're not expecting him to go out there and play good or anything, but Jesus fuck.
You can't be doing dumb stuff like that.
You got to be smart, man. Seriously. And the play calling is...
And that's the thing that I talked about in the preview. They have to play smart. They have to play safe. They didn't play safe whatsoever.
Not at all. The fucking ball security was like... And it was from both teams. The ball security was so terrible. Fumble every fucking where. Devlin Hodges fumbled. Deontay Johnson fumbled twice and shit. I think... who else fumbled? Someone else fucking fumbled on the Bills side. Singletary fumbled. Josh Allen fumbled.
It was pretty much
fumble every fucking other possession. Like, goddamn. And there was no capitalization on any of it, or at least not the majority of it.
No.
Again,
I think there was like one time. I think that was the Bills.
Yeah, of course it was the Bills, because this offense can't capitalize on any fucking thing. Which brings me to my next point, man. Fucking defense. I would say they played really well today. It's just that they didn't have any help from special teams, Jordan Berry specifically, and the offense. There's so much they can fucking do.
You know, like, defense pretty much did all they really could.
Right.
And they've been doing that all year. It's just that they have no help. They have no one to rely on.
Exactly. And the thing is that, and this is what I was going to get to, Steven Nelson got an interception before the end of the first half and everything. And he took us down within the 20-yard line on the Bills side of the football. Field goal range.
That just was before halftime.
Right. We get a first down, first and goal. What does Randy Fickner write up? He writes up a fucking wildcat. First and goal. And Deontay Johnson fumbles, and the Bills recover, and then there goes 6 points wasted.
It's kind of laughable because of how terrible it is, how terrible Fickner is. Like,
and that's not the only time he did that. He kept doing that stupid shit. It's just a constant, consistent. Right. I don't mean consistent in a good way. It's just consistent bad play calling.
Right, like when we said it several times, the players could execute better. Yes,
absolutely.
But how can they if the play calling is
horrific?
Awful. It's horrific. It's awful. It's
questionable.
Yeah,
it's sick.
Like, why would you do a wildcat on a first and goal against a top 5 defense?
Or wildcat in that formation,
or just that in general. No, that's dumb.
I don't know, man. It's just this offense is just so painful. It's the story of this offense all year, and it was just a reoccurrence in this game, in the biggest game of the year. Disgusting. Again, props to the Bills defense, and we know it's the Bills defense, but just do something, man. And they got to be smart. They weren't smart at all in this game. They weren't safe. They weren't smart, and they made a ton of fucking mistakes. There was one drive that the offense did real good at. It was the opening drive to the second half where immediately they went deep for Deontay Johnson shit, and then they just kept the consistency going, and James Conner scored on a Devlin Hodges pass.
Right.
And then after that, it was shit again. That was like the one positive thing from this offense all game. And it was just nothing else.
After that, yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Non-existent. They're just inconsistent. They're awful.
Yeah, we all thought, oh, wow, good second half adjustment from Fickner. And then, of course, back to his old fucking generic garbage. play calling. It's terrible. I feel bad for this defense because they just have no one to rely on. They can only do so much. Terrell Edmunds fucking sucks, okay? I love this defense. This defense, again, is our only hope to making the playoffs and shit. Here I am sounding like Antonio Brown with my fucking cracked up voice. But Terrell Edmunds fucking sucks. If there's a weak link to this defense, it's either Mark Barron, who has performed significantly better the past month, or Terrell Edmunds. I am on the verge of hating Terrell Edmunds. I was a big fan of him coming out of Virginia Tech. We were incredibly surprised when we drafted him in the first round because he was originally a day 2 guy, and this is why it shows. In fact, I think him being a day 2 guy was actually the scouts being generous at this fucking point. Because he fucking sucks.
Yeah, he is. There's nothing positive about him.
He does nothing positive. He is horrible in pass coverage. He has no ball skills. He can't tackle to save his life. I swear to God, he's a faster Mike Mitchell.
Like, he is pretty much another Mike Mitchell. I'm not even kidding.
And Mike Mitchell was bad.
I don't want to have flashbacks of Mike Mitchell. That guy was awful.
The thing about Mike Mitchell is that he actually made some plays. It wasn't often, but he actually made some plays. Terrell Edmunds, he makes a play here and there. He gets a nice little quick deflection in the end zone and everything. But he's not consistent. He always gets blown in coverage. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing out there. It's like you see Minka Fitzpatrick is just an absolute fucking an eventual and an inevitable elite fucking safety in this league and for this team. But then you look at Terrell Edmunds, it's like, wow.
They're just completely two different players, two different people. It's like, and I've said this several times, dating back to that draft, I wanted Justin Reed or Jesse Bates. Justin Reed. I specifically wanted Justin Reed. I don't know how the hell he fell down to the third round to the Texans, but you're looking at Terrell Edmunds, who went in the first round, and then Justin Reed that went to the third round. That should be opposite. That should be opposite.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I wanted Justin Reed or Jesse Bates, specifically Justin Reed, but, of course, Tomlin had to go with his Virginia Tech ways.
Yes, and again, before we get on the Tomlin hate, which that's, of course, backtracking and everything. You know, he can still help us get to the playoffs and shit, which could very well help his case for Coach of the Year, although that's probably going to go to Kyle Shanahan of the Niners or maybe even Sean McDermott of the Bills and shit. But if Tomlin helps us get to the playoffs, which is still very possible because, again, we are the 6th seed. We just have to obtain that fucking position, then that could help his case for Coach of the Year. He's done an amazing job this year, man, with
who he's
had and what he's had to deal with all year from the offseason to now. He's just done an incredible job. But I don't know, man. I want to say I'm confident that we can still make the playoffs, but I'm not. I am scared of that Jets game next week. Say whatever you want about the Jets.
This is the Jets we're talking about.
But exactly.
We got Mono Sam Darnold next week. We got
Le'Veon
Bell. Who are their receivers? Robbie Anderson, Jameson Crowder. Who the fuck are they? Who? Who's on their defense? Jamal Adams. That's it.
Jamal Adams.
That's
who's a stud, man?
That's like
who's a fucking stud.
That's like
apparently, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
apparently, the Jets are willing to trade Jamal Adams. Can we get Terrell Edmunds the fuck out of here? Can you imagine Minka Fitzpatrick and Jamal Adams side by side? Jesus fucking Christ. Now, of course, that's going to cost us an incredible fucking
and that's just
amount of
wishful
draft
thinking,
capital, but
who knows?
It's not happening.
But yeah, that's like 5 or 6 players I listed of the Jets, and that's pretty much awful because 5 or 6 players should not make a full team.
But that's exactly why I'm scared of it, because this is the definition of a Steelers traditional yearly trap game. The Jets right there. The Jets. The fucking Jets. You know, the Jets that allowed the fucking Bengals and the Dolphins to get their first wins this year? They almost got swept by the Dolphins.
Yeah,
that's why I'm scared.
I'm not looking forward to the Ravens.
And the Ravens. I'm not saying that I'm scared of the Jets because our team is terrible. I'm scared of the Jets because of our previous history with inferior competition.
Like
I don't know, man.
The Ravens, despite if they have the starters in or not, you know the Ravens are going to be looking. They're salivating on wanting the Steelers to not make the playoffs, even as the 6th seed. Yeah. They don't care. They just want to make sure the Steelers don't make it.
Yeah. They ain't got shit to lose at this point because
they already made the playoffs. They clinched the AFC North. Congratulations.
they're probably going to clinch number 1 seed eventually. So
yeah, and
it's
congratulations, by the way, again. But it's like they will literally do anything in their power to make sure Steelers don't make it. They did it last year against the Browns. Now, if we're still the 6th seed when it comes to facing the Ravens, the Ravens are going to do everything in their power to make sure we don't make the playoffs.
Depending on how the playoff scenario goes, because depending on how the Titans or the Texans work out and everything, maybe the Colts. I don't know. I honestly don't know the Colts record right now, but
I think the Colts are out.
Yeah, but the only competition we have right now at the 6th seed is the Titans, who could still potentially make the playoffs. So that's the only worry right now is if we can stay at 6th seed or if the Titans can steal that from us. So I don't know, man. These next 2 weeks will determine, depending on the scenarios, depending on how teams perform, depending on their victories and the win-loss shit. So we'll see what happens.
But nonetheless, we lose to the Bills 17-10.
A very hurting loss totally in terms of playoff hopes. Now, we are still in the playoffs as a 6th seed, but again, we have to obtain that lead. We have to obtain that position. Can we? I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. We got the Jets next week. Hopefully we can rebound and just beat the shit out of the Jets and shit. It's a road game. Our last 2 games are road games. Keep that in mind. So, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. But let us know your guys' thoughts down below, man. Hopefully Duck can rebound and shit. So,
that depends if he does remain the starter. This is actually a discussion now. Is he still the starter?
I would make him the starter.
I don't know.
I would make him the starter. Listen,
I would too, but that's depending on the coach's decision.
Right, but the way I see it, yes, Duck had a horrific game, but it was against a great defense. So, I'm not making excuses for Duck whatsoever. I don't think there's many excuses in football, honestly, to be real with you.
No, you play good, you play good. You play bad, you play bad.
Right, but, we'll just... I don't know. We'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Tomlin says on Tuesday and shit. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below, man. Hurting loss. Congrats on the Bills on the victory and making the playoffs for the 2nd time in the last, 20 years or some shit. So, good on them.
I don't know.
Good on them, man. But,
props, congrats.
And let's
You're a better team.
And let's get ready for the Jets. Hopefully we can obtain the 6th seed and still potentially make the playoffs. So, let us know your guys' thoughts. See you in the next one, man.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
Peace!